differently abled, differently.
A world record holder in Paralympics, an icon and a mentor. These are just a few words that describe Henry Wanyoike. Here is his story.
Henry Wanyoike is my name. Triple world record holder in the 5,000 meters, 10,000 meters, and the full marathon, that is 42 kilometers for the visually impaired. So I'm in the world of sports, Paralympics, which happens 2 weeks after the normal Olympics. Paralympics ni bio zile ama michezo ya watu ambao wako na ulemavu wa aina mingi.
From a young age, his talent on the track was undeniable.
And how it happened is that we had like inter-schools competitions, and the guy who was supposed to represent our school, Kajeru Primary School, he never showed up on that day. So the games teacher told me or requested me to do it for the school, and that is how I started in the 5,000 meters. Sikuamini after the race niliweza kushinda hiyo race.
His dream was to represent Kenya internationally and jetting back with a grand reception.
At the age of 12, I started to admire our great athletes. I was admiring the way they were popular, the way they were being celebrated, the way they were putting Kenya on the map.
However, this dream was suddenly put on hold when he lost sight.
I acquired my disability out of stroke, which affected my optic nerves. This year I celebrated my 30th birthday since I lost my sight, because it's like I was born again, because I had to start afresh. I had to be shown how to eat, how even to walk, because I had to use now the mobility cane, and how to do most of the things on my own. I used to see people with disability maybe on the streets looking for help, although it is not their wish to be on those streets, but the challenges force them to be on those streets because opportunities ni kidogo sana kwa mtu ambao ni mlemavu katika Kenya yetu. So I was thinking, even myself, I ended up living that miserable life, and I had a lot of I went to depression for 3 years.
This was a nightmare not only to him but his family as well.
You know, as the firstborn, so my mom was so worried that even from where I was born, from a very humble beginning, so media alikuwa naona naweza kuwa tegemeo baadaye kumsaidia baadaye, alafu tena macho ndio imepotea. So you had a lot of hope with me, na macho saa venye ilipotea, sasa ikawa ni kama my dream was shut up. Sikuwa nafikiria there is anything else I can be able to do with outside.
Henry had to go for rehabilitation.
When I went to that rehabilitation center, I was so amazed. By that time I was like the youngest, and all these people through the group therapists, they really supported me. That is where now I came to realize that even people with disability can be able to be in the world of sports, and that is why I was taken through by the games teacher by the name Dominic Munyi. He was also visually impaired, and he introduced me to be on how to do it with a guide. That is why I was able to accept myself 100%.
It was during this period that he rekindled his dreams.
When we were coming to for qualification, I never told my mom that I'm involving myself in the world of sports, because she could not allow me to run, because she was so afraid that I might fall down, then have more injuries and harm myself. So when we came, I told her we are supposed. I have come with my friend. We have an appointment at Nairobi. So she even never knew that I'm going for competition. So we went there. Alitupatia pesa, tukaenda Nyayo National Stadium, na nikakimbia na nikaqualify. So when I came back, ndio nikakuja nikamwambia, so why I was with this boy or John. Nikamwelezea tumekimbia na tumekimbia vizuri, na sasa tumehitimu kwenda kuwakilisha nchi yetu nje. Hakuamini. Sasa alikuwa tunajaribu kumjokia sana, nitakuwa naenda mazunda kwa venye utafanya, you'll be supporting us with the transport and any other thing. So and then I went to Nyayo National to Kikuyu Hospital. I was able to share the same with the Petra and the Gina and those who are working at Kikuyu Hospital. They were so happy, very, very happy. They could not believe it. What I used to tell Petra that I want to go back to sports, he could not believe it. And until the time I proved to that with the T-shirt and certificate which I got in Machakos, now I have qualified. And then at Machakos, the principal and the teacher, everybody, the students, they were very happy that now I'll be able to represent the school. So the school, they were able to give me some T-shirt with the name of the school, and even the suitcase was given by the school, by the institution, Machakos. Then Petra worked. She gave me the money to get the passport and the shoes, and so that is how I started to get everything in order. My mom was quite supportive with the transport, and every day we were going to Nyayo National Stadium for training.
Together with his guide, they formed a bond connected by a simple tether on their wrists.
Tena huwa tunapagwa kulingana na uwezo wako. Kama mimi niko kwa klasi ya T11 ya wenye ambao hawaoni kabisa, wanashikwa mkono.
In the year 2000, Henry made his Paralympic debut in Sydney.
In the year 2000 again, there was this qualification to go to Sydney Paralympics. So I went to Nyayo National Stadium, and with my guide John Kiaro, who we came together. He was in another school, but I asked him whether he can come and run with me for qualification. He was in Form 4 in Kwadanse High School, and the principal agreed to. He gave him the permission to join me, and we did a very good run at Nyayo National Stadium, and that is how I qualified now to represent Kenya internationally.
Since then, he has won many other races, getting new records.
That one medal, it really gave me hope and motivation to challenge myself more. I decided I should even try to beat that world record, and not even try 10,000 meters, of which I've never tried before. 2 years later, there was World Championships in France, and I qualified with the 5,000 meters and 1,000 meters. So in that 1 week, I was able to beat the 2 world records in both 5,000 meters and the 10,000 meters. So that is how I got my 2 world records in both 5,000 meters and the 1,000 meters. From there again, I decided to challenge myself with the on-road race with these people who can see. And my first competition was the Standard Chartered Marathon in Singapore, and I did so well. I was number 1. For that open days for everybody. I was the only visually impaired. Then from there I decided to challenge myself in the half marathon. I did the Standard Chartered Marathon in Hong Kong, and again, out of more than 12,000 people, I was number 1. Challenging myself further to the full marathon, 42 kilometers in Tokyo. I was able again to win the International Blind Sports Association the marathon. Again, I was number 1, but with a lot of challenge, because it was not easy for me. And I said to myself, I never try again another marathon. 1 year later, I got another invitation to do it in Boston. I did so well, and that attempt was a world record in London Marathon, another world record 1 week later in Hamburg Marathon in Germany. So this how I was able to beat the 3 world records, of which today I'm proud to have these world records.
And in all this glory, he faced challenges.
It wasn't easy. You can imagine in the beginning I didn't know how to do it. Falling down, if you can check myself, because of the roads we have in Kenya, they are not so good. Most of the time I was falling down. During the days when we were going to Nairobi, sometimes it was raining, it wasn't easy. You are tired before you get even for training. To get sometimes we could even miss lunch, and you have trained for hours, and now you doesn't have something to. So we could maybe even have 1 meal at the end of the day, but this didn't stop us to push.
He says while he celebrated all these wins, he is happy that he was a set pacer to other Paralympians who have come after him.
Today I thank God that the government is taking care of the people with disability. We have so many sponsors who are on board to support the sports for people with disability in Paralympics, in Special Olympics, and also in the Deaf Olympics. So I'm happy to. I struggled so that many other people people with disability can be able to benefit. We are not yet there, lakini what I can say, we are somewhere. Things are changing. They cannot happen overnight, but I thank God things are happening. We are on the right direction. We are on the good track.
Henry has been honored in Kenya and beyond and continues to inspire the future generation.
I've been, encouraging. I've been going to schools where we have children with disability, and even visiting there when they have the sports activities. I always avail myself, and we know when they keep on mentioning the name. I know everybody now. Most of these young boys and girls, they until now they don't need to read a story about somebody who is outside Kenya, like the way it was the games teacher in Machako used to read a story about athletes from outside Kenya. But now this is their own. They can read. Henry Wanyoike has done this. Even just that, it's a great motivation.
Differently abled, differently